Hey guys, how you doing? Brad here again, giving you an update on my knee for those of you that are interested. So it's going to give you an insight into the approach that I take from a holistic perspective to rehab something like this. So I physically hurt myself, but there's always different components to health from an emotional perspective, from a nutritional perspective, from a spiritual perspective that has anything to do with any particular injury that you have. So in this particular case, for those of you who haven't watched any other videos yet, I hurt my right knee pretty badly the other day, mountain biking. So yeah, a lot of you know that I do like pushing it hard with that, but I won't go into the details of how it happened because I've already talked about it. But I just wanted to give you an update from the last couple of days, what sort of things I've been doing. So definitely had some progress. I've been working the last couple of days with clients face-to-face and stuff like that. They have to do a little bit more, especially if it's a personal training session. If it's life coaching or NLP or something, that's easy. But I can get up a lot quicker now, and I can actually put weight on my right leg. So that's actually a pretty big increase in what I wasn't able to do beforehand. That feels really good to me. So I haven't been using the RICE method that so many people are very familiar with. That's been around since 1978. Rest, ice, compression, elevation. I've been resting it, but not too much. I've been encouraging muscular contraction as much as possible above and below my knee to basically bring the groceries in and bring the garbage out, send the garbage out. So it's the whole idea of bringing circulation, blood that is needed with nutrition and nutrients and everything and oxygen to my knee, but then also it's helping the lymph glands to be able to then take a whole heap of rubbish out. So, and it seems to be working pretty well. The swelling's definitely gone down quite a lot. It is still pretty full on, like if you were to see it there now, maybe I'll put in a photo later on in the video, but it is pretty full on in comparison to my left. But yeah, I made some good progress today. So anyways, yesterday I went to a doc because I had a friend of mine named Seal, who's a physiotherapist. She came in 2 days ago to try and assess what was going on because I needed help. I'm not good at doing manual assessments to be able to determine that sort of stuff like a physiotherapist can. I'm more about movement rather than manual work on a body. She couldn't do anything because it was so sore and so swollen. So I just went to a doc. It was better yesterday. He managed to do some manual tests, and it seems like there's no fractures based on me being able to get my knee to 90 degrees and doing a bit of a compression test. But it seems like I've definitely done some damage potentially to my what's called my medial collateral ligament. So medial just basically means close to the midline of the body. Lateral means away from the midline of the body. But basically, so the ligament that's on the inside of my right knee, and then also one called the anterior cruciate ligament. So it's basically inside your knee, you've got like two ligaments that cross over each other. Anterior just means to the front of the body. It's a very common one that a lot of athletes and a lot of people have done. I've done my ACL. I'm really hoping though that I've just either sprained them severely and not actually snapped or torn anything. That would be the ultimate goal for me, because really I want to be able to rehab this myself. I do not want surgery. I want rehab. I want looking after me and doing what I do best. So the challenge though is that if I do actually have to get surgery, I'm getting an MRI tomorrow, so I'm getting technology to allow me to look inside my knee. Magnetic resonance imaging will allow me to do that, to look at soft tissue injuries, and we'll be able to look in there and see if I've actually got any severe challenges. If I do have severe challenges, and say for example I have to go see an orthopedic surgeon, and he recommends surgery, then I'm definitely going to be doing a shitload more research to look into that, because I want to avoid that at all costs. At the same time, I don't even know if I would be allowed to go into a theatre because I don't have any vaccines in me for COVID. So from that perspective, I'm not allowed to do any of that sort of stuff. I'm poisoned or whatever it is. That's not the point of this call, this video talking about COVID, but that is something that would severely influence, my next steps, put it that way. But look, it's exciting to see how things change in such a short space of time, when you can go from absolute pain and feeling terrible to sort of, I'm up and about and I'm moving and I'm working with clients and things like that. But when I've had breaks, I've been sitting down, legs been up, been massaging above and below the knee to encourage blood flow and lymphatic drainage, as I was talking about before. And also, there's only been one night that I have had to resort to pharmaceutical drugs for pain relief. And also I coupled that with just sticking my leg in my ice bath. The pain was pretty full on, and as much as I was doing what I was doing, I needed to get some sleep. And sleep to me is like an absolute, it's just so damn important. If I don't get sleep, then I'm not going to get the recovery time that I need to be able to look after my knee. So since then, though, I have been continuing to use CBD oil each night to help me, just really sort of knocks me out, and it gives me a pretty good deep sleep. So it's pretty good, and pain then seems to feel a little bit less when I'm sleeping. So it's if you've never used CBD oil before, I'd highly recommend you look into it. I'll even tag the name of the guy in one of the comments below that I got mine from, because it works pretty powerful. It's great. So yeah, MRI tomorrow. I'll be able to then know what's going on, and feel free. I'll share the information with you guys here in another video. But really, other than that, the only other thing I would share that could be relevant to a lot of people here going through any sort of injuries is that because I'm using these things all the time, and I'm pushing up all of the time, essentially like doing dips like this, my triceps and my shoulders are getting really tight and sore. So what am I doing? I'm then stretching my triceps, stretching my trapezius muscles, doing this, and then I am doing the exact opposite movement. So I'm doing pulling movements like this with weights in my studio to be able to help balance out the tightness that I'm creating from doing this all the time. So that's what I've been doing from that. And then because my left leg is constantly being worked over and over and over again just as much, I'm stretching my butt, my external rotators, my quadriceps, my hamstrings. I'm doing a variety of different stretches there to be able to keep my left leg at bay as well. So you got to look after the stuff just as much that's being overused in comparison to the stuff that's being underused. So hope that helps, or hope that's of interest to anyone that's watching this, and I'll look forward to speaking to you in the next video.